Parthiban Kanavu, Book 2, Chapter 2. Valli, the Gossipmonger. After Ponnan left, Valli started serving the sage with utmost care. After he finished his morning prayers, she served him pearl millet pancakes, fresh off the skillet. The sage relished the pancakes as he struck a conversation with her. Valli, do you know how the queen is doing? She's fine. When the prince is by her side, she starts crying when she's alone, said Valli. Upon further thought, she added, Your Holiness, how is all this going to end? Is the prince really going to become a king? If some danger befalls him, the queen won't be able to live with it. What do I know, my child? It will end as God wills. What do people think will happen? The people stand behind the prince. They want to see the Pallava rule end. Even small children have heard of King Parthiban's bravery on the battlefield. Your Holiness, you told us about it 6 years ago. The oarsman and I must have told thousands of people that story. I have told several people the story as well. Let's change topics. Tell me how Marappa Bhupati is doing. Does he still ask your grandfather to read his fortune? Of course. He visits my grandfather often, said Valli. She thought of something and started laughing. What is it, Valli? You're not laughing at me, are you? Of course not, Your Holiness. Don't you know what Marappan's wish is? He wants to marry the Kanchi Pallava princess. All that remains to be done is to fix a date for the wedding. The sage's face darkened for a moment, but he forced a smile and asked, Why is that funny to you? A likely match. The princess and this coward? It's not as if he's the last man on earth. But isn't your grandfather fanning the flame with his false fortune-telling and encouraging Marappan's crazy fantasies? If he did not do that, Marappan would have harassed me to death, Your Holiness. On the topic of the princess, I have heard that she is beautiful. Is that true? Have you seen her? I have seen her, my child. But what do I know of beauty? I am an ascetic. I mean, is she prettier than our queen? Asked Valli. Is your queen beautiful? Okay, our queen is ugly. Your princess is the only beauty. Why does this upset you, Valli? As an ascetic, I can't tell beauty from ugliness. I can now see that you can't tell the difference. But if you can see the Pallava emperor, you should ask him about this. Do you know what happened before our queen married King Parthiban? Narasimhavarman heard of her beauty and swore to marry her. He threatened to shave his head and turn into a Buddhist monk if he could not marry her. Our queen Arulmovi had gotten engaged to Parthiba Chola and wouldn't dream of marrying anyone else. She married our king as planned. The sage, smiling brightly, asked, What happened after that? Did Narasimhavarman shave his head and turn into a monk? Men, what can we say about their proclamations? Men in the royal families are especially fickle. He married a Pandya princess and who knows how many other women. If I had been born a princess, I would have refused to marry a king. It is better to stay in a hut than share a palace with 10 co-wives. Very true, my child. But I don't think Narasimhavarman is as bad as you say. Well then, let him be good. It seems you know him well. Why don't you talk to him and get his daughter married to our princess? It will surely end all these needless fights, won't it? That is a good idea, but not something that I can propose. Why don't you suggest that to the Pallava emperor? If I ever see the emperor, I will definitely tell him. I am not afraid of him or anything, replied Valli. They could hear the boat approach. Valli walked out of the hut. End of chapter 2.